welcome back to my vlog about my trip in Arkansas. So we are currently on Friday. We've had quite a busy week, although it's not as busy as next week is going to be. We had quite a lot of free time to explore Fayetteville, where we're staying, and speak to our pen pals, meet up with them, etc. So it wasn't too jam-packed. I would just like to go over some of the key things that I've taken this week. We've had quite a few lectures, and then also speaking to my pen pal Gracie quite a lot and discussing some similarities, differences between Arkansas and the UK in terms of agriculture. So I think it'd be really interesting to just draw on the key things that I've taken away from this week. So let's jump into it. Number one is the scale. So I think a lot of people think in America, beef and feedlots and everything, like the factory farming, and is on a huge scale. So when I came here, I was kind of coming with that preconception that, you know, herds of beef will be thousands and thousands of head. Whereas what we've actually found is in Arkansas and northwest Arkansas, where we are, is that generally there's only about 30 to 40 head of cattle, and these people breed calves that they kind of store into feedlots in other states, so in neighbouring states. So actually here, in terms of agriculture, is very small, and a lot of people have another job to subsidise their farm. So it's more of a, not a hobby as such, but a secondary income. They have a primary income elsewhere. Another thing I'd like to add is that agricultural education is huge here. So it's instilled in school, like agriculture is kind of a subject that you could take as part of your school programme, which is obviously something we don't have in the UK. And they think it's very beneficial at a young age to instill, you know, the knowledge in young people of where their food comes from and its importance, and they think it gives greater respect. And when lobbying and trying to get people to vote on things that matter in agriculture, that this underlying education from school age serves them better. So I found that really interesting. And Gracie, my pen pal, is also wanting to go into teaching this at school. So she's currently doing her degree here at the University of Arkansas in agricultural education. Another thing is that, yes, once they do sell calves to feedlots out with the state, that they can be really big ones, depends on who they're owned by, but they can have up to 60,000 cows in them, which I didn't realise before, and it's just crazy to think of that number. But they're very efficient feedlots, although they kind of get a lot of bad press, as a very good way to produce beef. And I think this shines through in the talk that we had from Cody, who's one of the members of the board in the Arkansas's Cattlemen's Association. He was saying and explaining that they've actually got less cows than they did, you know, like going over the years. They're losing numbers in their herd, but they are, if not exceeding how much beef they were producing before. So it shows that they are efficient in what they do. A little bit about what I've learned on the arable side of things is that they have quite a different profile to us in terms of what they grow for crops. So they do make hay, and they do make a very small bit of silage, but it's mostly hay. And their big crop here is, and also this area of America, is corn, maize. It is a big part of a lot of food in America, as corn syrup. You can't really pick up anything here that doesn't have corn syrup in it. It's also a very important food for use in livestock and finishing cattle, especially in feedlots. Another thing that I certainly didn't think when I came here is that Arkansas produces a lot of rice. So the way the land lies, and where there are a bit more wetlands near the bigger rivers in Arkansas, is big rice producing country. So that was something that I did not know before. And lastly, another key takeaway that I have from this week is the ability for American farmers to be represented by an advocacy group. So there are loads of advocacy groups, all different areas, livestock, crops, environment, things like that, and they're all generally privately run, so non-government funded and led by farmers, and they really can push for change. And one of those is the Cattlemen's Association, who we got to speak to Cody from. I just realised I forgot to film an outro for this section, so that's my thoughts and key takeaways from this week, and I'm about to play a little bit more day by day what I was up to and a bit more footage for you guys, so please sit back and enjoy that. So here's Dr. Miller showing us the statue of the Hogs outside the Razorback Stadium. So this is a University of Arkansas mascot, and they use it for their American football team. So here's the stadium from far away, and it is impressive. These are some frat houses, fraternity houses, and these are the sorority houses for the girls. This is Old Main, which is the oldest building at the University of Arkansas. And here's one of their newer buildings, although they're built to look super swish. And to see the inside, this is just the inside of our halls. This is Senior Walk, so when you graduate, you get your name in the stone. And Monday evening, we went up Mount Sequoia and looked out over the view, and here's Gracie. We went for some Mexican food. The next day, 4th of July, we went to a flea market and saw a very cute cat and some old cars outside the flea market before getting ready to go to the baseball. So I stick out like a sore thumb because I got a bit too American and a bit too into it. But here is a little bit of the baseball. It lasted for ages, like 3 hours. Here's me and my lecturer Craig and my new sunglasses that I got at Target. And of course, it wouldn't be 4th of July without some fireworks to end the night, even though I'm not a big lover of the noise of fireworks. They were super pretty. Okay, so these are a few of our lectures. This is Cody from the Cattlemen's Association, who I talk about in my discussion. This is Cavender's. It's my new favourite place in the world. So Cavender's is a Western wear shop. Here you can see all the hats. This is me trying on some hats. And that's the boot section. Yeah. So to choose boots was very hard. And the hat was the hardest, actually, ironically. But I ended up going for these boots. They're Aria. So, yep, that was a big bit of my budget. And I went out to try out my new gear. This is on me on the Yeehog, as they call it at local bar. It didn't last very long. So the end of this week, we went to the Ag Technology Labs, where they're doing a bit of work with robots and drones. So got to watch what they're doing with them and have a go at flying them. And the big drone that you're about to see in a second is for spraying. So it will go out, find an area of crop that requires spraying and spray it and fly back. We also played around a bit with the drone and took some funny videos. We also took a team photo beside Shane, who's in the front, who kindly gave up his time to show us a bit more about drones and talk to us about merging photography and art with science. And our Friday evening activities was a trip to the piano bar. Saturday morning, I went to a local hunter jumper show with Gracie, which is actually, this arena is part of the University of Arkansas. So really interesting to watch something different for me. As some of you may or may not know, I have a horse myself, so it was nice. Saturday evening, we were invited over to dinner in a host family home. So this is Bob and his wife Johnny, and Miles and I went and had an absolutely delicious dinner and really enjoyed discussing and talking about their own travels. And Sunday we went to a gun show, as you do when in America. So thank you all, or thank y'all, as they say in Arkansas, for watching my week 1 vlog, and I hope you will be back for even more next week, because we've got a tight packed schedule and I'm so excited to share it with you all. So thank you very much. Bye.